back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, you know, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops? Animal rights activists.
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
You know, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, you know, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. Are you a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologists' claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Tonight, You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong. Thank you so much there, Daniel M. Daniel M says, David says good night. Good night there, David. Hope you have a nice weekend there, buddy, and I guess we'll see you next week. Daniel, thank you so much for sending in a super chat. You're awesome there, bud. So tonight we have a Christian who is rather unhinged.
Jesus loves the little children, maybe a little too much.
We got Eric Mishima says good night, Dave.
Tate.
Trickster saying greetings to all from the chilly Midwest. Love you 3K or the heart 3K. Love you 3000 I think is what it's supposed to mean because of end game. But tonight we have a Christian who's rather unhinged about his hatred for atheists, but he tries to portray this unhinged nature of his as actually positive evidence for the truth of Christianity and how powerful Christ is. And then he leaves us with a warning about how we need to turn to Christ or otherwise we're going to fucking burn or something. Like, he's really kind of all over the place. But tonight we're going to be reviewing an unhinged Christian making a rant against atheists. And trust me when I say that it's pretty illogical. It doesn't follow any kind of good argumentation. But we're here to figure out what in the fuck he's talking about. So if you want to fuck around and find out why this unhinged Christian hates atheists with the fire of 1,000 suns, then please stay tuned. Sorry about that. I was messing around with the vertical stream, which if you guys don't know, we've started doing dual streams here on the Godless Engineer channel. One vertical, one normal. If you like the normal, you can get that as always here. But if you are watching on your phone, there's also a vertical option that fills the screen all nice. And we've got it all prettyified thanks to KC for the viewing experience on a mobile. Now, tonight we've got a lot of stuff to go through. We've got a full slate of things. We've got some news to cover. One of the news items is pretty extensive. I've got whiskey, Jack Daniel's Triple Mash. It's a special kind of whiskey, I guess. It's a just special blend, if you will. So we've got news, we've got some comments to discuss, and then the comments actually has one bonus news item that I thought was pretty relevant. And then we've got, and then we've got Brosipa stopping by. He is going to be explaining some new Christian understanding of the eclipse. Yeah, well, we're going to go and see the eclipse. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But Brocephus is going to come by and illuminate some new understanding from the Christian side of things about the eclipse, huh? Yeah, it'll be nice. It's definitely end times related, by the way. So we got that, and then we're going to get to the video, which the video is rather short. There's only about maybe 3 minutes of actual content, and then there's a bunch of stuff that we can sort of kind of hit on, but nothing that we need to go too into depth about. So I hope you guys are ready. I know I am for the news. Yeah, I do want to say a big thank you to Lyra Farron, who before the stream became a shill. Thank you so much for becoming a shill and supporting us here at Godless Engineer. All right, y'all ready for this shit? Yeah? Oh my God, it's shitty atheist news! Fuck them people. All right. Sorry, I just need to. I'm choking on bullshit, but I also need to get liquored up. All right, so first up is the news. I hope you guys are ready for the news because, boy, we've got these aren't the juiciest news items that we've had recently, but they're still really applicable to our particular demographic. Being atheists, that is. First up, Lauren Boebert, as seen here, scoping out the theater seats for another opportunity to disappoint everybody, recently revealed that the only reason why she got into politics was because God told her to do it. She forgot how God also said not to rub your boyfriend out in public, but I guess she missed that memo from God. I think that if Boebert is going to be invoking God as a shield for why she's involved in politics in the first place, then she should know more about what the Bible says other than God good, unbelievers bad. Also, if your only reason for getting into politics is because of God, more specifically because apparently God told you this, and not because you want to faithfully represent your constituency, then you're a Christian nationalist and you're a threat to national security, which I'm sure that she wouldn't have qualms about. Well, not the national security part, but being a Christian nationalist, she's definitely all the way there. But yeah, so I think Boebert needs to get her priorities straight, but I'm guessing that she's, thinks she has them straight. But in any case, I feel like representatives that are voted into office should care more about representing their constituency truthfully than doing something because a magical wizard wants you to do it. And I can guarantee you, giving handies in the theater rows is not one of those things God wants you to do. That's right, honey. It is a way to become a 36-year-old grandma, which Boebert is. That's a granny right there. Granny Boebert. Be a hoe, raise a hoe. I didn't say that, y'all, okay? I didn't say that. God said it. Next up is Lance Wallanu. Christian nationalist Lance Wallanu seen here watching sinners and non-believers burn in hell while telling them to accept Jesus.
You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
Limited Light says, so glad she's leaving my district. Oh shit, she's in your district there, man? That sucks. Yeah, I'm glad Bobert's gonna be. Is she leaving? No, not Congress. She switched districts because she had someone's running against her and she was gonna lose. Oh, okay. So somebody's running against her and she was gonna lose, so she decided to take her loser ass on over to another district. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad she's leaving your district too, but I feel bad for those that are gaining her dumbass. I hope they don't elect her, but you know, who fucking knows. All right. So, Christian nationalist Lance Wallanu seen here watching sinners and non-believers burn in hell while telling them to accept Jesus' loving gift or continue to burn, claims that Democrats are no longer humans. In fact, they are all possessed by demons, and whenever they speak, it's really the demons that are speaking. Funny thing to say for someone with Satan's hands shoved so far up his ass that he's basically a Jim Henson puppet from hell. He claimed that the demon-loaded leftists are spewing ideas that only demons want, which apparently includes universal health care, taxing the rich, providing school children with free lunches, equal rights for minorities, as well as many other progressive policies that only seek to help the general population. So basically the Christian nationalists are now resorting to calling progressive policies satanic because apparently that's the only argument that they can formulate against them. Good luck with that. Yeah, the Lance Wallanu is like, fuck them kids. Maybe that's what he's doing in this picture. He's looking over there like, fuck them kids. No, y'all don't need to eat. Y'all just need to, get your parents to work harder, I guess. You don't need health care. You just need to walk it off. At least that's what they say here in the South. I mean, I don't know about other places, but here in the South, it was always walk it off or rub some dirt in it. And it's like, okay there, Peepaw. I'll give you something to cry about. Yeah, that's right. I actually had one person one time, as a small child, tell me basically that I would be a wimp or a weakling if I didn't run barefoot over gravel. He was like, I used to run barefoot over gravel, so you should be able to do the same thing there, buddy. Yeah, Casey said I'd make that bitch run over Legos. Put him on a treadmill and then dump Legos right in his path. Yep, there you go. All right, well, that's it for Lance Walla Dumbfuck. I don't know. I can't come up with a good thing right now. But next up is the lengthy news item, and that is the After School Satan Club, or ASS. ASS Club. It's the ASS Club. Well, it's the After School Satan something. ASS is what it's called. Yeah. So, anyways, Satanists are suing a Tennessee district for the inappropriate treatment of the parent-requested After-School Satan Club. Oh, yeah. After-School Satan Club. ASS and then C for club. No, it really wasn't. I'm going to go through it. Okay, so this club doesn't proselytize about Satan to kids because, the Satanic Temple doesn't believe in a literal Satan. They're not religious in that kind of sense. It's been described as a science club with a devilish twist. This issue started a while back when many government and local district officials did their best to try to thwart the Satan Club from being established in the first place. A local pastor, claimed that they put us in a trick bag and we almost can't get out of it using the Constitution against us. I'm sorry, they're using the law of the land to have equal rights, and that's a problem for a local pastor and also all of the parents that, are in line. Their beliefs are in line with the pastor there. They couldn't get out of allowing the club to meet without violating the Constitution because they have an active Good News Christian Club at the school, which I don't know if y'all know this, but the After School Satan Club is primarily directed at schools that have a Good News Christian Club that are meeting on the grounds. And so they also want to provide this After School Satan Club. So it's all about sort of using the same things that Christians do in order to proselytize to kids. But in this way, it's actually spreading, knowledge and information, like good knowledge and information. So if they wanted to prevent the Satanist Club, they would likewise have to ban the Good News Christian Club as well, and they did not like that at all. The superintendent of the district called this, attempt to establish the After School Satan Club by saying that, let's not be fooled by what we have seen in the past 24 hours, which is an agenda initiated to ensure we cancel all faith-based organizations that partner with our school district. Well, yeah, I agree, honey. You don't need those things in public schools. I don't think that the Good News Christian Club should be part of a school's extracurricular shit, right? Specifically public school. Yes, obviously. This is the exact opposite of what the Satanist School Club is about, though. The Satanist Club is meant to utilize the access to children that is afforded to religious groups in certain schools. Why would they want to shut that down? The lawsuit is being filed because after they failed to prevent the Satanist club from being established and being allowed to meet at the school, they experienced prejudicial treatment from the school and the school district. This included an over $2,000 specialty security fee for the club to rent a meeting space. Interestingly enough, they claimed that it was for like 4 police officers to provide security for the club to meet.
And why is it that they would need security?
Yeah, that's a good point. Why is it that they would need security? My guess is that they thought it was to protect them against the Satanists, which the kids that attended wouldn't necessarily be Satanists, right? Obviously, because it's actually at an elementary school, but at the behest of parents. No, at the behest of parents. I don't know. It's all ridiculous, but I mean that's kind of one of the points of the Satanist Club. But in any case, so they were supposed to have 4 police officers on duty or whatnot to protect the kids. In actuality, the parents hardly ever saw 3 police officers there. And then there was also an extra fee, like a field fee or something like that, that had no presence at all whenever they met. So it really seemed like a bullshit thing. There was a FOIA, or a Freedom of Information Act, request made to see what the Good News Club was getting charged for their meeting space, and the district couldn't produce any documentation at all for charges to the Good News Club. Yeah, it seems like they need to get a fucking refund, huh? Obviously, they were attempting to, quote, price out the Satanist Club by making it fiscally problematic to hold meetings. Oh, yeah. Previous lawsuits of this nature that the Satanic Temple has filed against local governments or whatnot has ended up netting the Satanic Temple over $200,000 in damages. But in this particular case, they're really only seeking $1 because it's not about the money that they've had to spend so far. It's about equality, like having an equal access in this particular situation. And I'd frame that dollar too, because they're definitely going to win this. I mean, there's no way that this is not prejudicial treatment, and it's not abusing or violating, rather, the Constitution. So I can't wait for this to resolve, because there's going to be egg all over the faces of these people. And, all of these people taking this entire thing way too seriously is just going to make them look petty and stupid. So anyways, that was your extra long news item for the day. That's going to be it for the news. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you thought about these news items. What do you think about Beetlebert? What do you think about Lance Wallanu being the puppet from hell? And what do you think about this bullshit in Tennessee? Let me know down below in the comments. Now we are going to head on to the comments. Hope you guys are ready for them because I am. Comments of the day. Wait, shit, we actually have a comments. Yeah, hold on. Comments of the day. Prepare to face bomb yourself in the next week. All right, so we got the comments. We're going to go ahead and shift to our crazy as fuck board because that definitely represents the comments for today. First up is this fuck right here. Oh, let me get situated here so I can actually read this bullshit. Okay. All right, Fuddly Dud. Sorry, I'm trying to get this correct. I'm all for being skeptical, but this post seems a bit overwrought given the evidence we do have. So the context here is a thing that I put up where it was just talking about how Paul had visions and he read scripture a lot, and that's basically the foundation of Christianity. There were no eyewitnesses or anything like that. So he says, for example, does 1 Corinthians 1:6 count as a reference to eyewitnesses? And I actually looked this up. 1 Corinthians 1:6. I had it pulled up. I'm so sorry. Let me read it real quick. God, thus confirming our testimony about Christ among you. All right, so that's what 1 Corinthians 1:6 is. I don't know if he means a different verse anywhere else, but that's what it says. This is not a admission of eyewitness testimony. This is God revealing the gospel of Christ to them and confirming what they had read out of Scripture. That's what this verse is talking about. So no, this is not like, fucking eyewitness confirmation or anything like that. Ernie Matthews over there on the portrait mode. There's a regular mode that's also here, but I'll just, let you find that yourselves. Q over on the vertical chat, I missed this a while ago, saying I clipped a bit of your conversation with Yusuf in my documentary about Bart Ehrman versus Infidel guy on the historicity of Jesus. Remember him? Oh, yes, I definitely do. And I did start to watch your thing because I did see it post in a couple of groups that I'm in on Facebook. So thank you so much there, Q. I'm sorry the notifications on the stream don't actually work for the vertical. I don't know how to get them to work for the vertical, but yeah, thank you so much for your super chat there. I appreciate you, bud. All right. So next up, does Galatians 1:18 through 20 count since he met with Peter and James? No, that doesn't count because I contest that James is the brother of Jesus, because it doesn't actually say Jesus, it says brother of the Lord, and there's a lot of argumentation that goes into like establishing why that doesn't mean a blood-related person. And then Peter is an apostle just like Paul is an apostle. Paul makes no distinction between both of their experiences. So it only makes sense that Paul or that Peter had visions of Jesus that confirmed the gospel to Peter. So that again is not an eyewitness account, and Paul never recognizes Peter as an eyewitness to Jesus or anything like that. And then he says that we could go to 1 Corinthians 15 and to the pre-Pauline creed, how apostles taught what Paul did in verse 11. Does this count? No, fuddly dud, it does not count. 1 Corinthians 15 specifically makes references that all of this information is according to the scriptures. And then it goes into a list of people that Jesus, or the Christ rather, supposedly appeared to in visions afterwards. That's what it means to be an apostle. That's what it means for Jesus to appear to them after his resurrection. So no, none of those are eyewitnesses right there. Even if we were to consider Jesus to be a historical figure that actually did die, those are not eyewitness accounts. So I feel like this entire comment thread here, or this entire comment, could be answered under the assumption that Jesus actually did exist and actually did die, but none of those are eyewitness accounts of anything that happened after Jesus' death. So this doesn't even touch on the topic of whether or not Jesus existed. Next up is Edward Mesimer. 6502. Edward's been commenting on our stuff for a while, so I appreciate that. Edward says the timing didn't work for me since the notification. It just showed up in my feed 8 hours ago after you posted it. I appreciate it if you could post your presentation on your channel. Thank you. So this is referring to my Recovering from Religion X podcast presentation about Mythicism 101. Basically going through like the argument, like a very surface level, like why is this a viable argument for the origins of Christianity. That will be going up on my channel soon, but I do have to wait for RFRX to post it on their channel before I can mirror at least the presentation portion of it on my channel. So that will be going up as soon as it goes up on their channel, which I'm not sure what their schedule looks like, but it will be going up soon. But Paul claims that there are witnesses to the same kind of apparitions he saw. To say Cephas, Peter, the 12, 500 at once, James, all the apostles, just how many were there? Since Paul was proven to be a liar, how can we trust anything he says? Now, this might be a good rhetorical argument, I guess, to present, like, oh, we know he's lying about something over here, so why trust him? But I feel like what we have to do is trust at least what he says as far as what his beliefs are. And I feel like that is what we have to focus on, not whether or not he's a liar, but what does he actually say in his epistles? Because if you're going to say, oh, well, he's a liar, then, you know, the entire thing's unusable for both mythicists and historicists, which, I mean, I would be perfectly fine with. That means there's literally nothing in the first century at all that references a Jesus. But I feel like what we have to do is not necessarily take Paul at his word, but we have to, I guess, just believe that he's trying to communicate what he actually believes to us. And as long as we keep it in that kind of perspective, I think that we can get a good grasp on what he actually thought. And regardless of whether or not he got his information from previous humans or if he solely hallucinated about the Christian gospel, I feel like all that doesn't matter. We just have to focus on what he claims to have thought, because that's the only evidence that we have. So thank you, Edward, for giving us that comment there, allowing me to talk about that. And then here's from the Facebook page, one of the few posts that isn't shadow banned right now, because I got a slap on the wrist from Daddy Facebook, from Daddy Zuckerberg. They didn't like one of the posts that I put up. And so they took it down, and now they're warning me like, oh, you could have your page taken away. And I'm like, fuck, take it away, bitch. I don't care. I mean, I do care. I spent like 10, 12 more years building it up. So, I mean, I do care. But at the same time, they take down posts that are not bad at all, and I get punished for it. And that's kind of bullshit. Anyways, this person commented, I'm sorry I cannot pronounce your name, but it was on a post that talked about how Islam definitely has teachings in it that specify how and when to beat your significant other, specifically your wife, not just a significant other. It's very specific about beating your wife, right? And so this person says, Islam doesn't instruct to beat the wife. The only time it is permissible is when she flirts with someone else other than her husband or commits adultery. And I don't think anyone would like their wife to be this way. The same way around for men. I know, right? That's why I put, in quotes, summarizing his point and paraphrasing him, Islam doesn't instruct you to beat your wife except when it tells you to beat your wife. Because that's exactly what he said. He's licking his own ice cream cone, which I'm guessing is shoved squarely up his rectum. But yeah, so...
Which is convenient because that's also where his head is.
Yeah, that's where his head is. So, I mean, that's why he can lick it so well. But so obviously he's contradicting himself in the like, oh, it doesn't tell you to do this except in this one very particular instance. And the other thing that I have to contend with is the other part of this, which is the same way around for men. Like basically the women can beat the men if the men are flirting with women. And that just simply isn't the case, because it very much puts men at the very top of the social ladder in Islam, right? In Islamically run countries. And so women can't beat men. Like, I don't know where he's getting that from. I'm sure I'll go and I'll find some kind of like weird verse that you could, twist into women being allowed to beat men. But my guess is that women can't beat men, but they can lobby to have other men beat your husband or some kind of shit like that. Is the way that would work. But in any case, no, I don't think that it's reasonable to commit some domestic violence against your significant other, your partner, if they flirt with another person or commits adultery. Like, I get it. I'm not saying that I agree with those things. I think those things are bad. Depending on the relationship that you have, there are polyamorous relationships where... I was about to go there. That's not adultery. That would be something that's discussed beforehand. Adultery in those situations, it's still bad. So I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that you don't need to, and the other people don't deserve to be beaten for it. Like, act like a goddamn grown-ass adult. Anyways, here's our bonus news item. An Ohio Chick-fil-A owner, Stacy Austin, has been arrested for driving over 400 miles to North Carolina with ill intentions to meet a 15-year-old child on a Sunday, of course. So I did read up on this on a local news site that where this occurred at, and basically this dude living in Ohio did drive 400 miles to, I believe it was North Carolina. And he did commit, sexual abuse of a child. So they found evidence of sexual abuse of a minor, and so the father came home to find him abusing his daughter and called the police, and then that's when he was arrested. I mean, honestly, spot on for the father for not just totally putting him in a coma. At that point, I feel like I probably would have a problem not putting him in a coma at that point, but that's what happened. So, Chick-fil-A, the good old Christian company that don't want to send any kind of money to, LGBTQ groups, and in fact want to send money to groups that look to prohibit LGBTQ individuals in many different ways, was somebody, a significant person in that organization, drove and met a child for sex. So, there you go. And then finally, we have John Schweitzler, who commented today and said, "Why do you care what people do if it doesn't actually affect you?" First of all, it's actually affect you. But next, I do want to address that this was on a post that talks about how, church or religion in general is like a book club that only has one book, and they don't even read that book all that well, or at all, really. They read select passages that agree with their preconceived preferences, and they use those passages in order to justify preventing people or to justify pushing their beliefs on other people. And so that was my problem with it. But he read it as, why do you care if it doesn't affect you? Well, how do you know it doesn't affect me? In fact, I live in a state right now where legislators are pushing their personal religious beliefs on me and forcing me to follow those particular beliefs. So yes, it does affect me. And I'm not saying that people can't meet to read the Bible or anything like that. I was just making an observation. But this guy has to blow it up to, well, if it doesn't affect you, then you shouldn't care about it. And I feel like that is the kind of attitude that gets societies into trouble. It allows Christian nationalism to fester. If we don't speak up, stand up, and use our voice against the kind of bullshit that's taking place now in America, I feel like we're going to have a Christian nationalist nation. Like we're going to have a theocracy at some point in the future. And I feel like if Donald Trump gets elected again, that is only going to become even more of a possibility, because the Christian nationalists are using Donald Trump in order to insert themselves into the government, get themselves put into very powerful positions within our governmental structures. And so I feel like if we allow this to happen, we will definitely see America turn into a Christian theocracy, much like Gilead. So while that wouldn't bother John over there, I feel like a good portion of the United States wouldn't like that particular thing to happen, because then it's, well, which denomination gets to make the rules? Which version of Christianity gets to assert which rules are in place? What type of Christian are you going to be forced to be in the future? Those are the questions that rattle around in my head, and I feel like it should rattle around in the heads of everybody, even Christians. So that's why I care. That's why it definitely does affect me. It affects everybody, even John here. Because I'm sure that John doesn't agree with every single Christian thought that any of his representatives have. But he's going to be forced to follow those beliefs one way or another. So, anyways, thank you guys for listening to me rant a little bit about some of these comments that I had. Now I'm going to go and get Bro Cephas, because Bro Cephas, he needs to come over here and explain some solar eclipse shit.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
I know.
Are we going to take him with us?
Are we going to take Bro Cephas to see the solar eclipse?
We should.
I will leave that up to you.
We should.
We should take him with us?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll be taking Bro Cephas with us. I'm going to go get him real quick. I'll be right back.
Shitty ass science! Bring on the answers of science shit really wrong.
Hey there, Bro Cephas! You need to come over here and explain this bullshit to us. What in the fuck are you talking about, the solar eclipse thingy? Yeah, I brought up that post that you were telling me about. Yeah, that's pretty insightful shit now, isn't it there, bud? No, I don't think that it is there, Bro Cephas. What in the fuck is that? Is that turkey bacon in the shape of a thick-ass woman?
It's just turkey.
I mean, I love that shit. I mean, I'd pin that up on my ceiling.
Okay, we're not doing that.
Y'all know the piece of turkey that's shaped like a woman that's got a thick booty? I'd pin that to my roof. Or whatever. The ceiling, whatever.
We're not doing that.
Just leave me and my blankie alone tonight. I'm just saying. Alright. I'm here to explain how this solar eclipse is definitely a prophetic thing. Alright? Now, I'm totally into prophecy, and I feel like this is God literally taking the Sharpie that he pulled out of his ass and drawing on the face of the earth, okay? And we're lucky because now is one of the only times when we'd be able to do this, because we're recording this shit. We're able to determine where the shadows are and everything like that. Alright, so, now you see right here, we have the last 4 solar eclipses that have went across North America. Okay? Now, y'all got to follow me here, okay? Otherwise, it's just not going to make sense, and you're going to be baffled by it, okay? So, I know it looks like an anarchy symbol, and maybe that means it's a downfall of America, but I doubt it. But if you actually just take one single portion of this, and then another single portion, like you see down there, how they've divided it up, right? So, if you take one portion of it, and then you take another portion of it, you separate it, what do you got? You've got some Hebrew letters that means Alpha and Omega. That means Jesus Christ is coming back, and y'all are going to be going to hell or something like that. So you need to get right with Jesus, okay? And here's how you get what?
What are the other 2 paths?
What other 2 paths?
So the solar eclipse only goes along the north-south.
Okay, I'll repeat it. These are the last 4 solar eclipses that have been across the North America.
Gotcha.
These are the paths, okay? And as we all know, the paths are hard-lined, okay? If you're off the path a little bit, the solar eclipse don't exist.
I mean,
That's how solar eclipses work. That's how solar eclipses work. It's science.
I can talk loud too.
What? No, listen, 2 Timothy, what the fuck ever, shut the fuck up, okay? All right, you can't usurp me. I have a penis. I'm just saying, I didn't make the rules, God did, okay? Now listen, all right, since it says Alpha and Omega and not anarchy, like a lot of people want to point out, it says Alpha Omega, but in Hebrew, okay? And we all know that God, the timeless, spaceless being, definitely speaks Hebrew, and he only speaks Hebrew. But this is how he's going to identify himself, is by speaking the fucking Hebrew, okay? So it means Alpha and Omega, and it tells us that God is going to be coming back soon in the form of Jesus. So now, listen, this is how you get right with Jesus. You get down on your knees, right? Get your hands right here and you go, my Lord Jesus, I love you so much. I give my soul to you right now. Right now. And then you do the booty shake. Right now. Right now. And then you go face down, ass up, because that's how he gets in there, okay? So, listen, that's just what you got to do. It's kind of like a rain dance, except it's a God dance, and you don't end up going to hell for it, okay? So, just, get right with God, because this is definitely a prophetic sign that God is coming back. And YouTube, don't you take me down for false information, because these are my deeply held religious beliefs, and you will be persecuting me if you do, okay? I'm just saying, this right here proves Jesus is coming back, y'all. Get right with him now. That's all I've got, so I hope y'all burn in hell, and I will see you heathens later. Bye, y'all. Josephus, what in the fuck?
He's a mess.
Are you sure you want to take that, asshole?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, are you trying to get me kicked off the trip? You know, if you're off that line just a little bit, you can't see that there's solar eclipse.
Yes, you can.
No, it's just on that black line, I know.
No, it isn't.
It's on the black line, I see it. That's how science works.
No, it isn't.
You know what? I'm going to take my little turkey woman, and I'm going to post her up, and I'm going to get with my blanket. Josephus is kind of fucking weird tonight. Don't mention prophecies with him, right? So yes, this is a new Christian conspiracy theory, or I guess of the conspiracy theorists that are Christian. They think that the solar eclipse is a sign that Jesus is going to be coming back sooner. The Alpha and Omega, the Aleph, and the Tav or something, the beginning and the end, which is Alpha and Omega. So, I mean, they think that Jesus is coming back, or that this is some kind of prophetic sign about something happening with the end times. So, but I mean, you could, like Josephus pointed out, like, oh, it looks like an anarchy symbol. So maybe the United States is going to get like thrown into anarchy. That's as reasonable as saying, oh, look, this, and then if you look, they're Hebrew or some shit. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, that seems bullshit. I mean, I feel like most people would recognize it as bullshit, but, All right. Well, that's going to be it for Josephus tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you think about the conspiracy theory about Alpha and Omega here with the solar eclipse. Are any of you going to be watching the solar eclipse? Are you in the path of it? Are you traveling to go and see it? Obviously, in North Alabama, not going to be able to see the total solar eclipse, so we are going to be traveling to somewhere where we can. So, yeah, that's going to be awesome next month. I can't wait for that. Also, I believe this is just a few days. This is on April 8th, right? This is just a few days before the Fallout TV series drops, so I can't wait for the Fallout TV series either. That's going to be a great week. Solar eclipse, Fallout. I mean, it's going to be great. All right. Are y'all ready for some unhinged Christian fucking bullshit? You voted for this? You want to see it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've got you taken care of there, bae. Yeah, it had trouble connecting a minute ago. If you can't hear anything when I start it up, you just put it back in there, close it, and then open it back up again. Okay. All right. So this is from I say organization, but I'm using that loosely there. That is the Prophets of the Martyred, or the Martyred Prophets, or something like that. I really don't know. That's a pretty small whiskey barrel. Yeah, this is nice. So Casey actually got me this because, you know, I have a habit of like fucking throwing my arms everywhere and knocking my drink over. It's a whiskey sippy cup. I don't know if y'all can see, but like I can do that and it won't spill out. Right, when I inevitably knock it onto the floor, it won't break because I broke one of my expensive whiskey glasses last time. That I knocked some shit on the floor. So I got a whiskey sippy cup. An indestructible whiskey sippy cup. Okay, so like I said before, there's only about 2.5 to 3 minutes of actual speaking in this where he relates some unhinged ideas about how much he hates atheists or how true Christianity is. So we're going to go through that, first, and then we're going to tackle some of these references that he has. And we're not going to extensively go through them. That would take a while. But I will point out some logical inconsistencies and point out some fallacies that he's using in his examples. So let's go ahead and hear what he's got to say. Let me know in the comments below if you think that this guy is really unhinged or if I'm just misreading the situation. I don't think that I am. I don't think Casey's actually heard this guy yet. No, I haven't. And you let me know. I can't watch this shit twice. Okay. You let me know if you think that he is unhinged because you're my barometer, like always. So sorry. Hold on. Let me fix my... Oh, that's because it's the actual video. Okay, I got it. All right, here we go.
No one has killed more humans than atheists. You are murderous, bloody, sadistic, intolerant, genocidal baby killers, and we can prove it.
Did you hear that?
No, sorry.
Oh, did you hear anything or?
Sorry, I was responding to somebody calling me a bitch in the chat.
Oh, yeah, that's totally ridiculous.
Hear it.
I was just making sure that you could hear it. So, no one has killed more humans than atheists. Well, first off, if you wanted to separate it up by demographic, atheists have been in the minority for most of human history. Most of human history has been primarily dominated by religious people. And so that means that most of the wars and everything like that were committed by religious people, maybe not for religious reasons or anything like that, but they were committed by religious people. But saying that no one has killed more than humans than atheists, I feel like definitely needs evidence, which he says that he can prove it. So I guess we'll find out. But then claiming you are murderous, bloody, sadistic, intolerant, genocidal baby killers. So obviously he's starting off this entire thing by creating this sort of a faux association between modern atheists and anybody who he perceives to have committed these atrocities. Just because you don't believe in a God doesn't mean that you are inherently associated with other people that don't believe in a God. This is generalizing an entire demographic and is not a good thing because I could easily, generalize the demographic of Christians as being pedophiles, racists, murderers, rapists, all of these other things. Like I could definitely generalize and say that, but I won't because I'm not a dipshit like this motherfucker is. Yeah. You're always home team, huh, honey?
Of course, not all of you are like that, and neither were all Christians in the Crusades. It's the godless structures of man that are dangerous.
I mean, sans the godless part, the structures of man are dangerous, like governments, societies, and all this other... Like, all of those things, I would agree, can be dangerous. They're not inherently dangerous. It takes men, like, not men specifically, but humans... to make them dangerous. Like they have the potentiality to be dangerous. Sorry. They have the potential to be dangerous. I don't know why I made it sound fancier than it needed to be. Isn't that a word? Okay.
The Byzantines and Catholics, 8,300 to 81,000. Over 275,000 dissenters murdered, men, women, and children.
Wait, I'm a little confused at this point because does it mean that... Hold on, let me back up. Does it mean that the Byzantines and the Catholics committed that atrocity? Like over 275,000 dissenters murdered? Also, where are you getting this information? I would love to know like exactly how you're coming up with these numbers. Oh, it's on the internet? Oh, he put it on the internet, so therefore it must be true. Thank you so much for clarifying that, honey. I had no idea. Yeah, on the vertical, it's not going to be exactly correct unless I do some weird shit. Okay. But anyways, so I don't know where he's getting this, and I also don't know if it's the Catholics and Byzantines who murdered these people, or if these people were Catholics and Byzantines. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which one they are. Like, he's a little vague about this, and he's not clear. There's a fucking surprise. That's right, honey.
Murdered, men, women, and children. The Roman Catholic Church, the Inquisitions, the Crusades, the Conquistadors, persecution of Protestants and Anabaptists. 5 to 10 million dead, men, women, and children.
Okay. So, like, is he starting out this entire thing with, yeah, Christians are shitty. See, here's some good examples of Christians being shitty. All these people, 5 to 10 million plus the 275 fucks that were killed. Yeah, definitely. Like, Christians are shitty fucking people. They murdered people too. Yeah, we haven't even made it to the Holocaust yet. That's right, hun. Do you want a mic? Oh, okay. So I don't know exactly what his tactic is here or how he's going to be differentiating, like, atheists from these Christians, because at this point right now, he's just like, oh, see, religious people, they kill people too. Atheists, they've killed people as well. Seems like it might be a fucking human problem. Like, maybe humans are doing this, and humans are making, war. They're committing these atrocities, not because of God or anything like that necessarily, but because humans are shitty by nature. Maybe, I feel like that's it. We don't need to involve religion in this. This is just humans being shitty fucking humans, or animals being shitty fucking animals.
Anyone that disagreed with them died extravagantly. Those were not Christians. Those were pagan temple worship led by a pope.
Oh, okay. So the Catholics that were mentioned before that were committing those atrocities, they're actually atheists. They were Christian. They weren't Christians. They were pagan temple worshippers, which he didn't exactly spell everything out there. It literally says those were pagan temple worship led by a pope. Okay. I'm sorry, but Catholics are the OG Christians. Okay. Catholics are Christians. They believe in the Abrahamic God. They believe in the Christian God. They believe Jesus Christ gave his life to absolve sins for whatever fucking reason. And so they are Christians. Like, I don't know why he's talking about... And there's been significant carnage wrought by the Catholic Church because they were looking to persecute Protestants. They were trying to stifle these people splitting from the Catholic Church and creating their own versions of Christianity. They wanted to stifle that shit. And so, yeah, they killed a whole bunch of people. Protestants have also killed a whole bunch of people, too. Protestants and Catholics have also hurt humanity and other humans in several different ways. So, all of these people are Christian, though. Just you denying the fact that they are Christian doesn't actually absolve them from the fact that they are Christian.
But when atheists get control of a whole government, well, the count is about 10 million dead by the godless Catholic death machine in the last 1,700 years.
10 million dead by the godless Catholic death machine in the last 1,700 years. So, not actually atheists or godless individuals. Not at all. It was the Catholic or like Roman Catholic organization. That's who he's talking about here. So,
to be fair, is bad.
It is bad. No, I totally agree.
Godless.
But it's not godless. He's trying to.
Got like a trifecta god.
You sure you don't want a mic? All right, I got her on the mic, y'all. The only sober one here other than Xander.
Are we sure?
I mean, I don't know. I get he's down there. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to drink. He doesn't like anything that's not root beer.
Testing. I mean, that is true. Sprite. He likes Sprite.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Now you're mic'd. All right, so Catholic Death Machine, or the Catholic organization, not Godless, so not atheists. This is still horrible, but I feel like if we're doing a head count here for, the most carnage wrought by each demographic, I mean, you haven't mentioned this guy hasn't mentioned a single atheist that's done a goddamn thing. But even so, like, he probably will mention an atheist later. I mean, there's several that he could mention. Stalin, Pol Pot, Tao, I can't remember. Any of those people could be cited as being, horrible people that didn't believe in God. So, I mean, there's room for him to do that. But as far as, like, the count goes so far, he thinks that he's counted over 10 million people on the side of atheists. But that's not actually true, because the Catholic Death Machine is not godless and therefore not atheist.
Yeah, that's your side, bro.
Yeah, that's your side, bro. Yeah.
And about 100 million dead in the last 100 years by the atheists.
What?
Okay. Well, so, like, let's first off, let's just assume that people that didn't believe in God have killed 100 million people.
But he said in the last 100 years. Did I miss something that happened in the last 100 years where 100 million people were killed by atheists?
Well, I mean, there is, I don't know about 100 million people, but, like, the massive amount that generally is stated is during World War II. Mm-hmm. So, like, that would be Stalin, and I've heard them claim Hitler is an atheist, and then I guess Mussolini, like the Axis powers, China.
Have killed 100 million people?
Apparently, according to him. I don't know. I couldn't find evidence of it, like of an exact count that's been either estimated or a real count. But even if that were the case, just because some asshole somewhere that also didn't believe in God killed a bunch of people, doesn't mean that atheists now, like as a demographic, are responsible or are in any way connected to those individuals.
But also, too, state atheism has nothing to do with atheism.
That's where I was going to go next. Okay. That Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao, not Tao, but Mao, which would be the Chinese part of that. That's important later. I'm not trying to separate out the Chinese in any kind of way. He specifically mentions China later. So all of those people would be part of state atheism. In case you're not aware what state atheism is, that's basically where the state outlaws religion, right? Because religion asserts power over the individual believer.
And influence.
And influence. And they replace that with the state. So basically, instead of venerating a god or venerating your local priesthood or anything like that, you're venerating the state and the state officials, right? So they're basically doing a swap between deities and the state. And so, like, that's not the modern demographic of atheism or atheists in general.
Another form of this kind of control is where you have a state religion and everybody has to practice the state religion, and the state religious leaders and the state political leaders are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another, they could do it that way. It doesn't really matter if it's irreligious or a religion of some sort. The point is control, of the state controlling.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so the fact is that whether or not they were atheist, it doesn't matter. Just like for Christians. Now, I mean, I'm not trying to paint all Christians as being innocent or anything like that, but it works just the same for Christians. Just because you're a Christian in North Alabama or wherever in the fuck you currently are, just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that you're inherently related to sexual abuse that happens in the church. Now, I say not necessarily because, like, if you're Catholic, let's say, and you tithe every Sunday and you give money to the Catholic Church, you are somewhat culpable for that. Like, you're giving money to the church. The church doesn't spend that money in their local area for the most part. I'm not saying that they don't, but for the most part, they, you know, the Catholic Church reaps, like the organization reaps the benefits of the donations that are given all throughout the world, and they maintain a fund in order to pay off families of sexually abused children in order to hide the pedophile priests that exist in the priesthood. Mm-hmm. And
billions of dollars a year.
Billions, yes, billions of dollars a year.
What's the fund, like $6 billion a year, or $4?
I mean, it's something like that. Like it's very extravagant.
It's a multi-billion-dollar fund, and that is possible because of people everywhere giving their weekly tithes to the Catholic Church. So if you're donating to the Catholic Church, you are paying off families to keep predatory priests safe. That's what you're doing.
Exactly.
So, but I mean, that doesn't mean you are yourself a predator. Like, I mean, I don't blame Catholics or I don't blame Christians for Christians now for the crusades that happened. Like, that's silly. You know what I mean? The only reason any of this is ever brought up is because they fucking bring it up. You know?
Yeah.
They say shit like, oh, atheists are responsible for this many dead because so-and-so killed them. I mean, like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not like we're paying tithes to fucking Stalin back in the 1940s or something like that.
No, but I mean, we would have never brought up, like atheists would never, at least as far as I can tell, would never have even brought up, oh, well, you know, what about the Crusades and Hitler was a Catholic and all this other kind of shit. Nobody would have brought any of that shit up if religious people hadn't tossed at us like, oh, well, atheists are predatory killers or whatever.
Baby killers.
Nobody would have brought that up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Which, funny thing about the whole baby killer thing is that not every version of even Protestant Christianity thinks that abortion is wrong. And the original religion, Judaism, the original Abrahamic religion, part of the religion is access to abortion services throughout a pregnancy. Because in Judaism, they don't believe in like life as far as like fetuses go. They don't believe that a fetus attains the statushood of like a person or is having life until they take the first breath, which is constantly affirmed throughout the Old Testament. And it's ingrained in Jewish beliefs now. So,
well, they've also got to have the ability to follow the Bible and give women who have affairs that tonic that'll, you know,
well, yeah,
cause an abortion. So
obviously,
yeah.
What is the biggest miracle of all? What proves there is a God? That Christians can endure persecution and survive no matter what? That the true church can never be eliminated? Nope. The best proof there's a God, the biggest miracle of all, is that we're not coming to your house to blow off your stinking fool atheist head.
What?
Apparently that's the biggest proof for God is the fact that Christians aren't going door to door and unaliving people.
Dude, if you need a God to not do something like that, you're psychotic and you should be locked up.
I totally agree.
Not normal. That shit's not normal.
If
you need a God to not be a fucking murderous asshole, that's a you problem. Like, I don't have that problem.
Like, I don't see how, like, it's really weird to see him paint this as like a positive, like, oh, I should go and blow your head off, but because of Jesus, I am not.
I don't. And you should be thankful and pray to God and, you know, pray to God because, you know, his existence saves you from me.
Apparently. Like, I mean, I feel like this is a clear-cut case of either psychopathy or sociopathy. Because it's like, I should blow your head off, but because of Jesus, I'm not. Oh, well, fucking thank Christ you believe in this magical wizard then.
That's what he wants. He wants you to thank Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Thank Christ that you believe in a magical wizard, because otherwise...
You keep on believing, bruh. Keep
Yeah.
on believing in Jesus. That's
That-
fine with me.
Yeah,
Just
this
do
is...
whatever you got to do.
This is one of those instances where I'm like, nope, you need to keep on believing in the magical wizard there that gave his life, okay? Like, keep believing that shit. I'm not going to try to argue with you. That keeps you from being fucking psychotic. So feel free to think a magical wizard's death absolves something called sin.
So that you're not a psycho.
Yeah, so that you're not a psycho, yeah.
We're willing to discuss anything with you controlling, rebellious, self-centered, ego-driven murderers.
What? We're the controlling ones?
Well, yeah, how are we the controlling ones? Like, at least the modern demographic of atheists are generally free thinkers. Like, we want to have the ability to freely examine different ideas, freely explore different avenues of knowledge. Like, we're pretty much like, oh yeah, I just want to be able to explore this thing. Like, we're curious. And we're not looking to constrain people to, like, you know, stereotypes or anything like that. But this entire video is about constraining people to stereotypes. It's about, you know, being ego-driven and controlling people.
But, like, we're controlling and rebellious when you want to come to our houses and blow our heads off because we don't believe what you believe?
But, honey, he doesn't because of Jesus, so that makes it okay.
Isn't that controlling? And, like... I mean, also, too, in the United States, I know all the listeners out there are not from the U.S., but in the U.S., like 95 at least % of our government is run by elected people who are in some way religious. The vast majority of them Christian.
Well, so look, you got to count out the Catholics. So, like, the Biden, he's atheist.
That is bullshit.
I'm not making the rules, he is.
The atheist who ends every single speech with, God protect our troops. Right. Give me a fucking break.
You make Holocaust look puny in comparison.
I mean, I don't know how I do that. I mean, maybe Stalin did that, but, you know, modern atheists, like atheists as a demographic in general, they didn't do that. So, I mean, I don't understand, like, the point. See, this is part of Godwin's Law. Have you heard of Godwin's Law?
I'm sure that I have.
Yeah, so Godwin's Law is, I believe that's Godwin's Law, is the amount of time that it takes for Hitler to be brought up in any socio-political conversation on the internet.
I haven't heard of that.
Okay. It's pretty short, the amount of time that it takes to get there whenever you're talking about these things, because people will always end up talking about Hitler and comparing things to Hitler.
Is this along the same lines as, like, how often people are thinking about ancient Rome?
I mean, you know, I feel like probably, but because it's not just people that are thinking about ancient Rome, it's specifically men. How many men are thinking about ancient Rome?
Then something must be wrong with me because I think about Rome almost every day.
Well, that's because you've been to Rome, and Rome's fabulous.
And I want to go. We were just talking about going and taking a pasta class in Rome today.
I know. I can't wait to take the pasta class.
I'm so excited.
The Jews are still mad at him, but you killed a lot more Christians.
You? Like us? Like we killed? Okay.
I don't know how we've killed Christians. Like, I haven't fucking touched a Christian. I work with Christians. I've had Christians lay hands on me. I've had a Christian that talked to me after work, and as I was leaving to go to work, he was like, "Can I pray for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, bud. Whatever makes you feel better." And so, I mean, I don't see how I've done anything. And most people in the United States have not done anything either, because you know why?
People in the whole world have not done anything.
Well, yes, but in the United States, it's because most people in the United States are Christian.
Oh, by like a whole fucking lot.
Yeah,
by like
still.
at least 2/3.
Now, granted, the nuns category, which doesn't necessarily rule out people that believe in God, but the nuns category has been rising. Atheists in general have been rising, but the Christians are still the majority in the nation, which he's actually going to get to here in a minute.
You've killed far more Christians than the total dead from both of the world wars.
Me personally, honey, I don't know if you knew.
That's just because you don't have, I mean, you have spent all the time I've known you going around to all of our neighbors' houses and just blowing their fucking heads off just because you don't have God to stop you. So obviously,
I mean, I just haven't been caught yet. I mean, we live in an empty neighborhood right now. I mean, come on.
I mean, sometimes I wish we lived in an emptier neighborhood. Not that I wish everybody was dead, but when they're like doing their fucking yard blowers at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, I mean,
you know,
I'm saying I haven't wished.
I have to ask, if he's personally applying this to me or any atheist out there, would you really be shit talking that kind of person? Like, well,
great point. Let's find him.
Yeah. I mean, would you be shit talking somebody that's killed millions, hundreds of millions of people? Like, you've killed hundreds of millions of people, and it's like, so you want to shit talk me, do you? Yeah. Because if I've killed 100 million people without batting an eye, do you think that you're gonna fucking matter? Like, I don't mean to sound psychopathic or sociopathic, but like, why would you fuck with that person? I know I wouldn't fuck with that person.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get the gun.
Oh, okay. She's going to go get the gun. I don't know what gun she's talking about, but she's going to go get it.
And if we put you in charge of anything, you're likely to come kill us too.
Oh.
Here's the gun.
That's right. I'm going to come kill all you fucks out there as soon as I get some new batteries because it's... Oh, nope, it's still working.
With your wiener and cheeseburger stickers.
I will kill you with my wiener and cheeseburgers. Well, these are fries, actually. These aren't wieners.
I think there's cheeseburgers on the other side.
Well, no, there's cheeseburgers. There's just fries all over it, too. I'm just saying that I'm prepared to come take you all out, okay? Because I don't know if you see this, honey, but if anybody puts us, like atheists, in charge of anything, they're likely to come kill. We're likely to come kill them.
Yeah.
Because that's, happened so many times in the past.
With the most dangerous gun we have in the house.
Yep, most dangerous gun right here. It's called the Nerf Fortnite Assault Rifle. Boom! I don't know. I don't even think this thing... Oh, it is loaded. Hold on.
Oh.
Boom, 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 boom.
He killed Brocephus.
I killed Brocephus. Fuck that guy. I'm fucking Brocephus now.
Hey, you do a pretty good Brocephus impression.
Oh, do I?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, so, I don't know how he's getting to this point. I mean, I know that he considers, obviously, religious people to be non-religious or atheist, but that's just not true. And I don't know why he thinks that as soon as you put an atheist into power, anybody's going to get killed. Because, like, modern atheists, especially atheists that exist in the United States, just as the fact of them being atheists, they're not going to start killing people. Now, if you're a sociopath, psychopath, and we put you into power, like fucking Trump, yeah, I could totally see somebody, like... finagling the system to where people are just killed on the street or something like that, maybe.
To be fair, a lot of these religious nutter butters on the fucking internet have talked about if they were able to, they'd line us up in the streets and shoot us in the face. Like, they have literally said they would do that to us, but we're the ones that are the problems.
Yeah, I believe it was, I can't remember who it was, but during the COVID time frame, I remember there being a program that aired somewhere. I don't know where the fuck. Right Wing Watch covered them a lot. And they often said that they wanted to line non-religious people, or at least people that didn't mesh with their particular version of Christianity. They wanted to line them up and shoot them all. Mm-hmm. Right? Steven Anderson, he wants to put a bullet in the head of every LGBTQ person.
Yep.
He wants to unalive the fuck out of all of them.
Like, he straight up said that he would shoot all of them.
Yeah, and I mean, he is a Protestant that this guy would consider to be a representative of Christianity. So, I mean, I don't understand what this guy's talking about with this, because he just seems to be talking a whole bunch of shit without any actual information to back it up.
That's because his head's in his ass.
His head's in his ass. That's right, honey.
Shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
More Christians were martyred in the last 100 years by atheists than all Christian martyrs in the previous 1900 years combined.
This guy gets off real hard on persecution complex.
Yeah, and the only reason why he feels comfortable making this particular claim is that he's like defined what Christian means to be a very specific and tight version of Christianity.
Which is weird, because there's like in the US there aren't as many denominations, but there are a couple to a few thousand different denominations of Christianity throughout the world.
Yeah. So
like I feel like it's just a little ridiculous to create this narrow version that fits your narrative. It just does not even comport with reality.
Right, I agree. And people are saying citation needed. Citation fucking needed. I agree. And I have a shirt for that in our GE store. You could probably find it somewhere on the page here, but there's a citation fucking needed.
You should buy one of those, and you should buy a heathen shirt.
Heathen?
While you can, in case they take them away from us again.
Yeah.
The leading cause of death among Christians in the last 100 years? Atheists.
I mean, I feel like this is definitely not something that's supported, because
It's on their death certificates.
atheist. Like, can you imagine going to a coroner and it's like, what's the cause of death? Well, atheist. Like, they killed him? Nope, just atheist. I'm just saying, like, he stopped believing in God and dropped dead. I guess. But, I mean, I know what he's talking about here. I'm not trying to straw man him or anything. I'm just saying that, like, you would really need to like support this with some kind of study that shows that atheists are this kind of violent.
Well, it says it right there on the screen.
What?
It says it right there on the screen.
Where?
The leading cause of death among Christians in the last 100 years, atheists.
No, I mean, I'm saying that he needs more. Like, he actually needs a citation, not just the fact that he put it on the internet.
Well, now he has your video.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I feel like he is the type of person, whoever produced this, to be like, oh, yes, the leading cause of death among Christians is in the last 100 years is atheist.
Look, it's on the slide. I put it there.
Yeah. How do you know that? Oh, we'll go to this YouTube video. It says it right there. That's you talking. Yep. And that's my proof.
Self-licking ice cream cone. I told you.
And we're supposed to listen to you about values and ethics and human justice?
No, I mean, I'm not saying you have to listen to me about it, but I feel like because my opinions don't rest upon the sensibilities of a magical wizard that exists outside of time, that it kind of lends me to be a bit more objective about it. Like, if you're going to sit there and be like, well, my magical wizard don't like it when you suck dick none. And, you know, it's like, that's the entire reason why. Or like in Alabama, it's like, well, my God believes that life begins at conception, so no IVF for you. It's the same thing. Like, you think your magical wizard that exists outside of all time, space, and reality doesn't like this thing or thinks this thing, and so therefore you have to legislate this thing and make everybody agree with you, at least in practice, that this thing either offends or appeases the magical god wizard.
But we're the controlling ones.
But yes, we're the controlling fucking ones here.
Yep.
Why should we talk to you at all? In fact, we're the majority.
You shouldn't. Fuck off. I don't give a fuck about you. Go away.
Majority. Why should we let your type breathe one more second?
Y'all should see Casey's face. She's just like,
I mean,
what your type, like, I don't.
But we're the controlling ones.
We're the fucking psychopathic baby murdering assholes here.
But you don't want to allow me to breathe.
He has to be convinced to allow us to breathe. Just take that in for a second. He has to be convinced to allow people to live that disagree with this one particular aspect of his worldview.
And we're not even trying to take it away from you. Just mind your own fucking business and leave everybody else alone.
I mean, for the most part, we don't fucking care what you could believe. You could believe in magical pixies that lick your asshole at night. I don't fucking care. But as soon as you start passing legislation to make me agree that magical pixies lick my asshole at night, I'm going to have a fucking problem with it. And that's exactly what's happened here in the United States, like in Alabama. Like they had theological reasons for assuming that life begins at conception. Therefore, IVF is not a viable way for families that are struggling with fertility to be able to have children.
I have a solution.
Yeah.
To this problem, we'll have a God. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you an idol that depicts our God.
Our God.
Will this help us be allowed to breathe?
This makes a lot of sense, especially considering that it's green.
Yeah. Oh, because you're not going to be able to see it. Oh my God. Which is hilarious because that actually happened in the movie.
Yeah. This is our God right here. This fuck right here says, oh, don't go around assaulting people. Let people live how they want to live unless they're trying to hurt you or other people. Oh, fucking thank you, invisible dragon.
It's actually Pete's dragon. And do you remember in the video, in the movie, when it was invisible?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Pete's dragon. I would worship Pete's dragon. Pete's dragon doesn't want to do anything but smoke pot all the time.
He has a name. What's his name? I can't remember. Does anybody in the chat know his name?
I don't know. It's probably
No, he has a name. Peter. No. William. No.
Fucking Pete's dragon. I don't fucking know. Pete's dragon says don't fucking hurt people.
No, its name's not Puff. Fuck. I have to look it up now. Is this name Puff? Multiple people said Puff. I don't think so.
Puff the magic dragon lives.
Privacy.
Yeah, Puff the magic dragon.
Its name isn't Puff, though. Wilbur. No. Elliot.
Elliot.
That's Elliot. Our God's name is
You
Elliot.
see? There's the miracle. We actually love you.
What?
How crazy is that?
Wait a second. So you're telling me that you have to love a person in order not to kill them? Is that what I'm hearing?
This person is into domestic violence. I don't want to allow you to breathe, and I want to come and shoot you in the face, but I love you. And that's why I don't.
I love you, and that's why I don't kill your ass.
That's a lot.
Christians don't love, everybody. I feel like that's a really unhealthy thing to levy against even Christians out there.
It's gross.
Yeah, I mean, can you just, it's like, oh, you gotta love everybody. What about that fuck that raped me? You gotta love him too. What?
You have to have his rape baby.
Yeah, exactly. Especially here in Alabama, they'll force you to have it now.
Even if you're 10.
Yeah.
Also in Ohio.
And also, if you're gonna die from a miscarriage, that's gonna happen too. That's just God's will, and that's what happens in Alabama. God's will.
But
we're ruled by God's will.
We're the controlling ones.
But yes, we're the controlling ones over here. We're the baby killers and the mommy killers and everything like that. We're the ones that want people to die, not the people that are actively passing legislation to make sure that people die all the time.
After what you've done to our brothers and sisters, we should drop you where you stand.
What?
Good God.
Wait a second. Didn't he just say I love you?
I love you, but I should drop you where you stand. Wow. This is a roller coaster of fucking emotions that he's...
You're right. This guy is unhinged.
I know, right? It's perfect title for this video.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, he's just like, I love you, but I should drop you, but I love you. You're lucky God doesn't allow me to kill you, but I love you. talk about fucking bipolar. Like, I feel like this is definitely a mentally ill person, I feel. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody that is suffering from any kind of mental illness, but this guy is obviously off his rocker.
There's something wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong with him, but there's something wrong with anybody who talks like he does.
Yeah.
Especially since we believe that one day you'll be coming for us.
What? No.
I don't know where you would get that. I mean, obviously there were assholes in the past that have done asshole things, but that doesn't mean that atheists now share the exact same mindset of fucking Stalin.
Most of us just want to like work our jobs, travel, take naps, eat snacks, like, I don't know, play games. Like, it's really not that deep.
I mean,
it's really not that fucking deep.
Some of the people in the U.S., they just want to sit there and smoke pot, eat an edible, and relax.
I mean, religious people do that too.
I mean, yeah, religious people do a lot of the things that atheists do too. The one thing they don't do is not believe in a God. Like, that's the one thing that religious people do that that religious people don't do that atheist people do is not believe in a God. Like, that's it. That's the only thing that separates the two people. Like, there's
I think a lot of religious people who have not been exposed at all to people who are atheists, I think they really would come to learn, if they did get to know anyone who's an atheist, is that we're really not different. We're really not that different.
Like, you had that one coworker that was like, don't you sacrifice small animals in your basement?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't fucking have a basement.
I do it in my kitchen. Because I have to cook it, right, afterward.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't see how that's different than, like, preparing a chicken. Like, if you're on a farm and you got a chicken and you want to have chicken breasts at night, like, I mean, you have to kill a small animal for that.
Yeah.
But I guess killing a chicken's fine if you're going to eat it. Like, if you kill a cat, that's bad, but...
I mean, some people eat cat.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I probably wouldn't unless I was starving, I guess.
Yeah. So in the book of Eli, that's a Denzel Washington movie. They're actually, what's Danny Glover's son's name?
Something Glover.
Well, yeah, it's something Glover. Anyways, he is going to be playing a young version of the book of Eli. That he's going to be playing it. Huh? Donald Glover. He's going to be playing Eli in a younger version of him in a TV series. But in that, the entire thing starts off with him like killing one of those hairless cats, like the Sphinx cat, I think it's called, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
He kills one of those and he eats the meat. And I mean, like, if you're in a situation like that, yeah, you're going to eat whatever you can. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. The fact is that we're not coming for Christians, like, at all. And in our modern society, atheists are the ones that are like, hey, if you're not causing harm to me or other people or our society, I don't really give a fuck what you want. Fucking tie yourself up and jerk off if you want to. I don't care. You're not coming on my ass, so you might as well just do whatever makes you happy. Like, as long as it's in a consenting relationship, I don't give a fuck. Like, I feel like that's the difference here.
Somebody said Donald Glover's not Danny Glover's son.
Is it not? Is he not?
Apparently not.
I thought he was. He just has the same last name.
Yeah, and when you Google
Donald Glover Sr.
But that's not Danny Glover's name's not Donald. When you Google who is Danny Glover's son, it comes up with Donald Glover.
Shit, I'm so sorry. Like, I heard his last name Glover and I'm like, oh shit, that's his son. And no, it's fucking not. I feel so embarrassed now. I automatically assumed people with the same last name were related. Yeah, the same thing happens with Adam Baldwin.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people think that Adam Baldwin is related to the other Baldwins, but he's totally not. Like, he's a totally separate Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin, the
He's
one that was
not
in
like
Chuck.
Even a cousin.
No,
Oh.
he's not related to him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, I did the exact same thing with Donald Glover as I did with Adam Baldwin. I thought Adam Baldwin was just like the last Baldwin brother or something like that, but he's not. It's really weird. Anyways, so sorry for that. It was totally based off of the last name only. And
Someone in the chat said, I thought Luke Perry and Matt Perry were brothers until Matt Perry died.
and you know what's fucked up?
I mean,
That-
is Luke Perry dead also?
Maybe.
Pretty sure he died too.
Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen?
Brothers?
Fucking brothers.
Yeah. Well, Charlie Sheen's not his name.
What's his name?
He's an Estevez. He's like Carlito Estevez or something.
What?
Oh my God.
Charlie Sheen is an Estevez?
Yeah.
Tiger Blood himself? I'm learning so many things in this stream that don't relate to killing everybody.
Hold on. Carlos Irwin Estevez. Not Carlito. Carlos.
What the fuck? Goddamn stage names fucking me up.
Well, like the dad, help me out.
The dad is a Sheen.
No, the dad is Estevez.
The guy who played the president on the West Wing is an Estevez?
Yes. Martin Sheen.
Martin
Sheen is Ramon Antonio Gerardo Estevez.
What the fuck? My entire reality is crumbling right now. He's an Estevez too?
Yeah.
What? So Emilio Estevez is just the only one that had balls to keep his name?
He kept his name. He didn't use the stage name. He kept his name.
I see. I respect him a whole lot more than his fucking family now. Emilio Estevez is so much better than Tiger Blood and whatever and Martin Sheen.
But we can't because of Jesus.
But we can't because of Jesus, and so now
Might want to thank him, like right now.
you might want to thank Jesus right now because I'm not blowing your head off currently.
Yeah.
Thank Jesus by sucking that dick. Are you gonna help me out?
Let's not get a Catholic Bible because I don't have a non-Catholic Bible.
Oh, see, I thought you were getting the puppet. Yeah?
You want this Jesus? You might take them both.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Double Jesus would actually be a whole lot better, right?
Yeah.
Because then you got both of them.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy! See, that was Jesus talking right there. I agree. Fuck this guy. See, that again was Jesus. Don't mind my mouth. It's here. I could probably fix it in post. Hold on.
Just put them in front of your face.
Fuck this guy. I really fucking hate this guy right here because he does not represent me or my beliefs or my father, who is also me. Fuck this guy.
There you go. Set right here on the internet. You saw it. You saw it yourself.
Jesus said it. Now do it. Go fuck this guy. No, I'm just kidding. Don't go fuck this guy. Also, from me, little Jesus, mini Jesus, fuck this guy. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
And you might want to rethink being in bed with so many rapists and murderers.
I don't know.
So might you.
I mean, I'm in bed with a lovely woman every night, not a rapist or a murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, honey, have you like raped or murdered people lately?
No.
Ever?
Which is weird because like my atheism constantly calls me to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does your atheism do that? Like,
Well, I
does
mean,
it wake
it
you
just-
up in the middle of the night? It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
and you're like, shut up, atheism.
I know. So maybe I do have Jesus and I just don't know about it.
Yep.
Just a thought. Love ya.
Let me.
Love you. Okay, thanks. Bye. Love you so much.
So casually. Love ya.
Love
After
ya.
telling us we shouldn't be allowed to breathe, they should blow our faces off and he should drop us.
Love you.
Love ya. What a dick.
I know. This guy's fucking psychotic.
Jesus.
Please turn. He's real and he loves you. If he didn't, you'd be toast by now. Me too.
I don't
We're not
know
so
if y'all
different.
know this, but when you get to heaven, your moral actions are not judged. You're only judged for believing in me. Thank you.
Michael Keaton, Elizabeth Richardson, said this. Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas, but he had to change it because Michael Douglas was already in SAG.
That's crazy.
Fuck.
Speaking of Michael Keaton.
You know, my real name is Giancarlo Esposito. I'm just saying.
Glisanito.
Glisanito.
Yeah.
I'm so fucked up now, and I can't trust anybody's name. Like I don't know who fucking is who. Like, what's your name? Oh, my name is I don't know. Who's Aquaman?
It's fair to assume that most actors are not using their given name. Some of them use a form of their given name, or maybe their middle name, or something like that, or a variation of their name.
Yeah, there's a popular news YouTuber. His name's Philip DeFranco.
Yeah, I know who Philip DeFranco is.
Yeah, that's not his name.
Okay.
Or well, it is his name now because he had it legally changed. But he started out he had a different last name and he changed it.
Okay.
For, I guess, specifically like publicity purposes or maybe something like that.
Well, like you said, who's Aquaman? Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. That's not even his fucking name, I bet.
It's his middle name. His first name's Joseph. He's Joseph Jason Namakea Momoa.
Mm-hmm. See, I was expecting him to be Gerald Smith.
I mean, that would be funny.
Thanks, Jesus.
Thanks, Jesus. Thanks, Jesus, for convincing me not to kill everybody. Okay, so he's about to go into, like, the other half of this video just about is just him listing off different references, but there's a bit of a logical inconsistency here. First, I want to speak about this guilt by association thing. If he's going to play this guilt by association, where he is claiming that, atheists are responsible for these murders and all these atrocities that have been committed, then you would also have to agree that he is culpable for all of the murders and the grapes and all of that kind of shit that are perpetuated on a consistent basis by even Protestant Christians that he would definitely consider.
Which happens.
Yes, which happens all the
Protestant
time.
Christian leaders do this all the time.
So, I mean, he would be responsible for that too. So it's just total bullshit for him to lay this on people. Regardless of whether or not atheists have committed genocide in the past, that doesn't mean that every atheist that follows afterwards is therefore genocidal or is responsible for the actions of past atheists they have no connection to, okay? But there's another inconsistency here in the things that he is bringing up in these little slides. This one right here, 1789, 5,000 clergy martyred by atheists during the terror in France. Wasn't actually able to substantiate this all that well, but this was a time of turmoil in France where there was this rise up against the religious elite. Right, so the lower class, the secular part of the country saw what the religious people were doing to them, and they rose up against them. So this was more political than it was religiously based, right?
Oh, but that doesn't matter.
Huh?
It doesn't matter. It's the mean old atheist.
Right. It's the mean old atheist. And then 1871, 20,000 clergy and believers martyred by atheists of the Commune in Paris. Again, this is another politically based thing and not a religiously based thing.
What about like Jim Jones?
Yeah, I mean, Jim, he would probably classify Jim Jones as godless in this instance. But you're right. He's not godless. He definitely believes in the Abrahamic God, and he was definitely doing things for religious reasons.
Well,
so,
like if they throw Hitler around a lot, and we were talking about that earlier. But like atheists, non-religious people were not even allowed to join the SS. Like
Right.
atheists were literally banned from the SS.
Right.
So like,
well, and
you had to be
atheists and
Protestant or Catholic, right? Or
pagans and occultists
Yeah.
and stuff like that, spiritualists in general. But also the atheists and free thought groups were also banned in Germany at that same time when they were excluding atheists from the
can't
SS.
have free thought.
Right. And then the Russian Orthodox would actually be Catholic, Orthodox Catholic people, which he may consider to be different because they're not part of the Roman Catholic Church, but they're still Catholic. So that kind of introduces a different thing there.
I mean, that's like saying that's like Baptist and Lutheran. I mean,
Right.
come on, it's the same shit.
Yeah. This one again is Christians being killed. This one, not that Christians were obviously being killed, but it was Christians were killing Christians, I guess. Or in his eyes, it would be atheists killing atheists, basically. Same thing here. This would be atheists killing atheists, not atheists killing Christians, which is what he's trying to point out here is that atheists kill Christians. This is not atheists killing Christians because he considers Catholicism to be atheist based,
which is stupid.
Right. This one right here again, atheist based. Orthodox Christians would be Catholic, so atheist based. All of these are examples of all German origin Lutherans are liquidated by atheist Stalin. State atheism is not atheism as a demographic now. So like this entire last half of it is just listing off the number of people and then the ways in which people were killed, which, I mean, you could easily transfer to the religious side, like the Christian side. So that's going to be it for the video. I know that we kind of painstakingly went through every single sentence and everything like that. We stopped them pretty quick in a lot of positions there, but I felt like it really needed to be kind of discussed.
Fed to piranhas?
Yeah, it said fed to piranhas. I mean, have you seen some of the like Inquisition like images that you can find on the internet? Like it's particularly horrible shit. Like it's bad. So I mean, anyways, that's gonna be it for the stream tonight. I hope you guys are enjoyed the stream. I don't believe I missed anything. No, Drew's Book Reviews has been a member for 58 months. I appreciate you there, Drew. It's been awesome having you here and everything like that. I appreciate everybody that's been over there on the vertical stream. I hope that's worked out pretty well for y'all still. We really kind of worked hard in order to get that layout looking really nice for y'all over there on the vertical stream. The vertical stream is going to be ending right now, but we are going to be going to the Skeptic Mafia comments. So if you want to hang around and see what the Skeptic Mafia has to say about this bullshit, please do. But ultimately for this entire video, like I said, in the title and everything like that, it's unhinged. Like this guy is just totally bonkers. I would not want to be within like 100 miles of this motherfucker. I don't know where he lives. And I don't want to know where he lives. I don't know. Maybe I do. Because I would just want to stay the fuck away from him.
We don't care. Go. Just leave people alone. Like,
Yeah.
he just needs to leave people alone. Nobody's coming after you.
Oh, but honey,
go the fuck away.
We're the controlling ones. We want to control him so that he doesn't just go off and kill a whole bunch of people that don't believe in the same God that he does in the exact same way that he does.
I mean, I would really prefer that he not just go around and kill people. That's fucking psychotic.
It would be nice if he didn't do that. Like, I mean, I feel like a normal, mentally stable person doesn't need a magical wizard killed in the 1st century to convince him not to go kill people. Fucked my camera up a little bit. But I feel like you shouldn't need that. And if you feel like you do need that, you need a therapist or psychiatrist more. Seek professional help. But in any case, I really appreciate you guys being here. If you will, please go down below. Let me know what you thought about this crazy fucking insane video. If you agree with anything that he said, please seek help. If you disagree, you're a fucking normal person in this particular aspect. So, please let me know what you think down below. And I hope that you guys will join me next week. Don't forget to, while you're down there in the comment section, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.